Oh, Na Nation. It feels so good to be back. It's your boy Melky, and of course, I'm doing things the Melky way. And welcome to another episode of Nobody Gives a Fuck. This is number 4, brought to you by those fucked up guys from Wow, I Had Mustard. Now, the gentleman on the other screen is actually popping his podcast cherry for the very first time. He's losing his P card. He goes by Ammar, also goes by Alfred. He's also my little brother. Welcome and thank you for taking this dysfunctional journey with me. Tell the world a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. That was a great intro. Wow. Yeah, I'm the younger brother, Ammar, the more handsome brother, to be honest, let's be
Debatable.
real.
Debatable.
I, I say I have a solid lead, but
Bro,
yeah.
you resemble the pirates from Somalia in the one South Park episode.
Yeah, always quick with those ones. Yeah, no, I'm the younger brother by 9 years, and I was approached from my brother to join him on one of these episodes, and I said, why the hell not? Let's take this journey and let's be fucked up.
I like it, man. I like it. You said you had a beer. I don't have a beer, unfortunately, but cheers to you, buddy.
Cheers. Can't
All
really see
right.
it, but cheers.
Let's get this party started. So, why are my brother and I doing this? Well, the two of us are going to talk about the one thing that we bond over, and it's that classic TV show, South Park. Now, for those who don't know what South Park is, where the fuck have you been? It's one of the funniest shows going on 23 seasons. If it wasn't for this show, I would wish you had cancer.
Wait, cancer?
Yes, head cancer.
Head cancer?
No, I'm just kidding. That's a classic line from two classic characters we'll get into a little later. Um, why don't you start with how did you get into this show and why do you love this show so much?
So, I mean, you're the one who got me into the show. I can't even remember. I was maybe 4 or 5, which is
Yeah.
debatably pretty young to start watching South Park, but whatever. Fuck it. That's the perks of having an older brother. But I remember after The Simpsons, it came on later that night, and you and I would always stay up pretty late. And I remember watching it, and you told me that, oh, this show is fucking hilarious. It's like the funniest show ever. And I remember watching it, and the first episode I saw was actually the first episode of the show when the aliens take Ike.
The anal probe.
And yeah, the anal probe one, exactly. And I just remember that scene when the aliens sneak into Cartman's room and drag him. And I remember that scared the shit out of me when I was younger. Like, that was actually horrifying. I remember, like, I vividly remember us, like, me looking at the door when I was sleeping and, like, imagining the aliens peeking their head in like they do in the episode. So I just remember that. And then when Kyle would say, kick the baby and kick Ike, I just remember that show was for me. Like, that show was amazing. And then that, and also the Starvin' Marvin episode.
Oh God,
Those were,
that's one
yeah,
of my favorite episodes.
yeah, I remember me and my friend Ben, we used to literally watch that every day when you download that episode on LimeWire. And we would just watch it all the time. And the most classic line was appetizer.
Starving Marvin, yeah. He's never seen so much food in his whole life. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that one's a really good episode. For me, I think it was in grade 7, and this show just happened to be on TV at like 8 o'clock at night. And you see like the terrible animation. Kids are like cursing and like they're up to no good. And I was hooked from the start. I think the first episode I ever watched was Stan having a gay dog. That was the first one I
Classic.
saw. Yeah, that one's fucking hilarious. Big Gay Al and this animal
Yeah.
sanctuary. This gay animal sanctuary. That was just a hoot. And I remember I went to school the next day and I was talking about it, and everyone was looking at me like I had a third head, or a second head, third head, whatever. And my one buddy Andy Brownlee, I still remember it to this day. Little Ginge kid comes up, he's like, "I saw that show too," and we just started talking about it. And I waited next week to watch it, and it was, I believe, I believe it was the episode where Cartman's trying to figure out his who his real dad is.
Oh, the two-parter, yeah.
Yeah, but they never showed the second part. Well, at least I missed it because I guess it caught wind by parents how awful this show is with the vulgar language and the adult content. So they changed the time slot, put it Friday, I think, at like midnight.
Mm,
So, parents are usually sleeping, and I found out and I would sneak in. I'm not sure if mom was allowing us to watch, but I didn't care, man. It was just a
yeah.
classic show.
No, that was great. Yeah. Classic times. I remember like that's the good old days, just like waiting till late at night time to watch that episode on TV. You know what I mean? There was such like a novelty to it compared to now where it's like, oh, I can just, stream it or I can just go on Crave and watch it. It's the novelty kind of like enhance the show. Like, oh, I have to stay up at 12 o'clock to watch this. I feel so bad and rebellious.
Right. And this nostalgia factor too, because like you said, we couldn't stream it. Our aunt would actually record episodes for us because like myself and my sister, were so bad in school for grade 7 and 8. Our mom took cable away. What up, mom? So we didn't have cable. So we'd wait till Auntie EO would fill up the tape with episodes and then just watch it over and over again. So
Damn, see,
God
I don't
bless
even
her.
remember that.
Yeah, I don't know if we still have the tape or not, but yeah, um, the Halloween one's on there. Both parts of Cartman's dad is on there. The giant clone, but Chewy Chewy Chomp. So many classic episodes. I believe that's season one. It was in not or season one
I
or
think
season two.
season 1 and 2. It's like a mix between it. What season is the one where when that guy's singing and they have like the Broncos game? It's like loving you is easy.
Yes, it'll be.
That's
That's
that's a
season.
Big Al one,
That's
right?
the Big Gay Al one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's John Stamos' older brother. That's who it is. And they put point spread, or they did something. Yeah, they put money on him singing and on the game, and Stan ended up coming back on time because he went to go rescue his gay dog, and he
Yeah,
came
yeah.
back on time, and he was able to, I guess, secure the point spread, so they didn't kill Jimbo.
Right, because they said that if John Stamos' older brother could hit the high note, then the cow would explode, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But he couldn't do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and then he ended up doing it at the
Yeah.
end. All right. Well, speaking of characters, we're going in and out with characters. What is your top 5 list of South Park characters?
So we're gonna rank from least like 5 to 1,
Yeah,
right?
I think that's easy. You go from your least favorite to your top.
Okay. So number 5 is definitely Twan Lu Kim, the shitty walk guy. I just I just find any scene he's in, I just die. Like one of my favorite lines from him specifically is, "God damn it! How come every time we build us Chinese build a wall, we have goddamn Mongolians trying to knock it down."
Damn you, Mongolians.
It's just shit like that, and how he says shitty beef and shitty chicken. He's just, I love that guy.
I love the
Uh,
play words with that character. He's so funny. Underrated too.
Very underrated, exactly. So that's why I had to give him some love and put him in the 5 spot.
All right.
Number 4, so you want me to do my top 5 or you want to go
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and forth?
No, no.
Yeah.
You go, do your top 5.
Okay, so number 4 would be Craig. Craig, I just love how Craig, yeah, he's always giving people the finger. He's like the rivals to the core four, and every time, like Cartman or Stan or Kyle think that they have something really cool, Craig's always like, it's not that cool, like he's always putting them down. And then they have the iconic episode with Tweak versus Craig,
Oh
which
God.
is
Stop
what's
screwing around.
Richard.
You see what happens when you screw around?
So yeah, he's definitely number 4. I think he's pretty underrated as well. But yeah, he's number 4. Number 3, I feel like everyone's gonna have these 3 in like their top 5, but number 3 is Butters. I mean, what can't you say about Butters? He's just the funniest guy ever. He says this dumb shit. He's like, he's always getting grounded, like for the most ridiculous things ever. Like his parents actually have that conversation with him. If he does that, he's grounded.
His parents hate him, man.
Yeah.
Like, imagine living in a household like that where you can get grounded for messing up a pantry that's alphabetically like labeled.
Yeah.
Why do I have rice-a-roni in my coffee?
Or like, if you get a ninja star in your eye, you're gonna get grounded. You know, like.
Woof.
Yeah. So yeah, Butters, and then he's a great tap dancer.
He's got something in his front pocket for you.
Exactly. Number 2, Randy, of course. I mean, Randy he's got some of the most iconic lines in the entire series. And the thing I love about Randy is that he was such like a side character for like the first 4 or 5 seasons, and then they just made him they just started making him full out retarded. And now he's like a main character, and he's just the dumbest guy ever, the most redneck ever, and we love him for that. And then number 1 and then number 1 is Cartman. I mean, Cartman makes the show. I mean, I feel like if you took out any of the main 4, like other than Cartman, you could probably still have the show survive. But if you took out Cartman, the show's done. Like you can't have the show. Everything more or less kind of revolves around him, to the sense where like he's either the one causing shit to happen, or like he thinks shit's happening to him and he creates some giant conspiracy and gets everyone involved. Like he hates hippies. Like he's racist.
He's
racist, sexist. He's abusive to his mom,
and his girlfriend.
Like, yeah, he's just he's an iconic character. He's not fat. He's big boned. So
yeah, he ate too much cake.
Yeah, beefcake. Yeah. So Carmen's number 1 for sure.
Yeah, that's a solid list. What's wild? My top 3 are the same as yours. Same order, which is fucking. But that's a great list. I love. What's the? I'm having a.
Twan Kim.
Yeah, I love the episode where the sushi place opens next to him and they change to Little Tokyo. That's probably, out of anything he's done, I know like he wasn't the one that changed it to Little Tokyo, but like just him and being involved and then scheming and trying to like get rid of this guy, and then their banter back and forth.
Yeah,
I can't understand what you're saying.
And they start fighting and they always destroy the sushi place.
Speak English.
I love the scene when they're at the assembly and they have like LMFAO playing.
That's a solid list. My number 5 is Towley. Yep. Who doesn't want a towel that gets high all the time? Like, don't forget to bring a towel. He is a constant reminder, staying dry. He's always hot. He's mixing that Chang sauce and he's fucking it up. Like, how spicy do you want your Chang sauce? Like, he is so funny, especially when he teams up with Randy later on and they are at Integrity Farms.
Oh, it's classic.
You know what? At first, I didn't like him, and I would have actually bought one of those "I Hate Tally" T-shirts, like in the very first episode. But he grew on me. He grew on me quickly. He's a solid character, one of my favorites. So definitely Tally number 5. Number 4, Mr. Garrison. Mr. Garrison has been awesome from the start, from the jump. He's always been fucked up, always confused about his sexuality, or at least in denial. Has classic line after classic line. Like, what more can you really say about Mr. Garrison? Gets a sex change, then goes back.
Becomes president. Becomes Trump. Yeah. I love his transportation invention. Remember that one?
What's it called?
Dude, I cannot remember, but
it's called the Go something.
Yeah,
and then the device, it goes up your ass.
It's a blow on.
It's a blow on. That's it. Yeah. It's like, do we have to buy these other functions? No. Yeah, or when he writes his iconic sex novel, and there's the word penis is probably like 500 times in the novel. I'm giving the chicks what they want. They want schlongs.
Don't forget his trusty sidekick, both Mr. Slade and Mr. Hat.
And Mr. Twig for a little bit.
Oh, Mr. Twig.
We hate Mr. Twig. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Mr. Garrison, he's just on another level. Even from the start when he gets a nose job and he looks like David Hasselhoff. Or when they raid, there was one, I can't remember what episode, but they raid the locker room. Oh, it was the Towley episode. And they're looking for towels. They're eliminating towels, and they go in the locker room and they push him against the locker. And he's like, "All right, have your sick way with me." And then they look around and they're like, "Where are you going?" Yeah, I love Mr. Garrison. Mr. Garrison's bomb, man. One of my favorites.
Great. No, he's great. He's great.
Yeah. Number 3, Butters. Everybody knows it's Butters.
Yeah.
Everybody shits on him, and it's fucking hilarious. He's the scapegoat. I was watching before we recorded this. I was watching the one where they start the GoFundMe page. They were Washington Redskins.
Oh yeah.
And the episode after where they come back because it failed, and Butters burned down the gymnasium. Yeah. Like Leopold Stach, like he's so funny. I'm glad they introduced him to the show, made him an integral like part of the show because he's awesome.
Yeah, he was always like a background character for the first couple of seasons, and that they just made him a main character. And I just love how gullible he is. Like he always takes Cartman's shit. Like the awesome
right?
Sorry.
Well, he wants to fit in, right?
Yeah, he wants to fit in. But like, come on, no, he's gullible. Remember the Canton Benita one? He's like, he thinks the world's over.
That one's awesome, and like you were about to allude to the Osimo one where Cartman pretends to be a robot.
Oh, I love that. All the movies with Adam Sandler.
Lame. Yeah, I like Butters. What more could you say about Butters? Number 2, sorry, not Cartman. Randy Marsh.
Yeah.
You nailed it. He started off as a side character, and then he just developed into this crazy, insane motherfucker who is an extremist. Like there's no like gray with him. It's either really high or really low. You know, whether he's whether he's becoming a chef or he's watching murder porn or you know, he's picking fights at baseball games. You know, it's America.
He's chasing dragons in the video game.
Yeah, playing heroin hero.
Yeah.
Randy Marsh, he's developed into a great character. Now he's got his own farm, growing weed, Integrity Farms. I think I might buy a Integrity Farms t-shirt. That's how awesome he is. And then numero uno, of course, Cartman. Eric Cartman. You know what? The little fat turd is the show. Like he's so vindictive. He's just evil, selfish to the core. You know what my favorite episode is where they focus on him? The dog whisperer one.
Classic with Caesar. Yeah.
Caesar Milan. Yeah. That episode is so because Cartman is just so angry and out of control. And Caesar Milan, he's a dog handler, and he just puts Cartman in place.
Cartman, he makes a show. He's like, I feel like if Matt and Trey, they needed a character where they can just go absolute batshit crazy with, like that was the character, you know. Well,
look at his Minority song. You know, there is too many Mexicans and blacks in the water park. Like that, they can do that with him because he's just another extremist.
Yeah, like you expect it from him, you know, like. Yeah,
I always look forward to like whatever racist remark he's gonna spew in the episode. So, yeah.
I love another one of my favorite Cartman episodes is when they make Faith +1.
That's a great one from Star Wars too. What do you mean, Mur?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mur. You could go double or triple mur.
Yeah, like, and you know, and there's so many other great characters like Mr. Hanky, Chef, uh, even Miss Chokes on Dick a little bit. Like,
Oh yeah, she was great. Oh, you can't forget Mr. Mackey.
yeah, Mr. Good, like don't be
Yeah.
such a pussy. Yeah, no, Mr. Mackey's pretty awesome. He almost made my list, but I
Yeah.
feel like I relate more to Tally, so.
I love one of the episodes. I can't remember who's like saying something to him, but he's like looking confused, and he's just like, okay. You know?
Yeah, Mr. Mackey, he's always good for a chuckle. So let's move on to your top South Park quotes. So we'll do the same thing again. Do you want me to go first this time? I mean,
Yeah, I'll let you go first. Yep.
all right. So
Uh, you're going first.
yeah, so number
Yeah.
5. Uh,
You're cutting out.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, guys. We'll go with a classic Cartman quote: "Respect my authority." That started it all. You know, Cartman. You know, he needs his authority. You don't mess with Cartman's authority, and when he has it, look out. No,
Don't fuck with it.
no, don't fuck with it. Case in point, when he was a hall monitor, he bear maced everyone. Yeah, so that was my number 5. Number 4 was another Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yep. Classic. I think that was the first like quotable quote from South Park.
Yeah. Not me or you.
I think that's me.
Number 3, Randy Marsh. Fights, when he fights the Bat Dad and all the others, you know, in the baseball tournament, just going out, you know, him getting arrested with his pants down. That was America, you know.
Yep.
So that made my number 3. Number 2 is from Mr. Garrison, and when they're talking about evolution, and it's actually Mrs. Garrison at this point,
Yeah.
says, "You're the retarded offspring of 5 monkeys having butt sex with a fish bowl." That is one of my favorite episodes, and too bad it wasn't a trilogy, but
Yeah.
the fact that, you know, it had everything Cartman's going to the future to go play Nintendo Wii, and
Yeah. I know.
it's all
The,
based on science and religion, and yeah,
the otters. I mean, what like they're one of the best creations in South Park.
yeah, hands down. My number 1 is from Butters, and I'm actually gonna play it for everyone.
For our pants down, should we stand front ways or back? I need to wish for behind our wieners. I think showing our asses will be quite sufficient, Butters. Maybe we could stand like this, with our wieners poking through the back of our legs, you know? Give her a nice fruit bowl.
That's the introduction to Mrs. Jokes on Dick. I thought that was the funniest quote I've ever seen, and then he does the little like sideways movement with the fruit bowl. Oh my god. I didn't even know what a fruit bowl was until he said that. I had to look it up. Fucking died. That's actually Gooby's favorite quote too. So yeah, that was my number 1.
That's a great choice. Oh man, like I didn't even remember that quote, and the fact that you just said that, I'm like, shit, how did I not think of that one? That's amazing. All right, so I guess I'll do mine. um, my number 4 is I member, or sorry, my number 5 is I member from the member berries. It's one of the newer seasons, and I don't know, there's just something about the member berries where it's like, remember Star Wars? Yeah, I remember. Just like the voices are just amazing.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5 is the member berries. I wish that they were around longer than just like a couple of seasons, but I think they're great. Uh, my number 4 is uh, I'm gonna go watch Yo Gabba Gabba in my roomsies.
My roomsies. I love that episode.
That episode was gold.
Yeah, I that's one of my newer favorite episodes is that one where I takes he gets the wrong pills and he becomes a teenager at like 2.
Yeah. He's like, you gotta tape some strange.
Tape some strange like.
Okay, so number 3 is this is a classic. They took our jobs.
They took their jobs. Oh my god.
That's just amazing. I feel like everybody knows that line. Like it's just pure genius.
Yeah, even if you're not a South Park fan, I've heard other people say, "They took our jobs."
Or like if you go on social media and you'll see someone comment it in the comment section. It's cool. Number 2 is a nice Randy Marsh one. Kind of plays off your I thought this was America. I didn't hear no bell. Like that episode. I think that is my favorite Randy episode. Yeah. With like the montage when he's just waiting for everyone.
Get up, Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
And then my number 1, I'm gonna play it as well. Just get that ready. That is, I just love that line by those sheet down of your shitty sushi place. That's like when I was thinking about my favorite quote, that was what I landed on, and that's what made me put Tuan Lu Kim onto my top 5 characters. Because I'm like, yo, this guy is just gold. And I just watched a montage of like his best moments. So I'm like, this guy is amazing.
Yeah, he's something else. I wish they introduced him a little earlier, but I guess it's better late than never.
Yeah,
he's so funny, like you said, with the Mongolians, the whole beef with the sushi place, him being he's a counselor and having multiple personality disorder.
Yep.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
I love the episode when he has his wife. I think her name is Wing or something.
Yeah, Win.
And she's like, she's a beautiful little flower, beautiful little flower.
Yeah, and she's on The Pretender. She gets her ass kicked. It's stupid Sylvester Stallone. He would love to have her at his son's wedding.
Yeah, his son's wedding. Yeah, she's singing. Yeah, so yeah, he's gonna steal my number 1.
Yeah, that's a solid list too. There are so many great quotes that we could have gone forever on that topic, but those stand out for me. Those stand out for you. Yeah, I can't say anything wrong about any of them.
To be honest, you can make a whole episode, like a whole podcast episode, just saying your favorite quotes from South Park.
Easily. That you know what, that might be part 2 where we just start spewing quotes for an hour or so. Stay tuned, folks. Well, let's go to another topic. So I'm not familiar with this because I didn't play much, but they branched off into the video game world, and they had some shitty ones on the PlayStation, and I think PlayStation 2 or whatever. Yep. But you really played the ones that came out for PS4.
It was like It was PS3, 360, and also PS4 and Xbox One. Yeah.
So why don't you dive into those? One was called The Stick of Truth?
Yeah. So I'll start with The Stick of Truth because that was the first one. The Stick of Truth was just an amazing experience. I just remember playing it for my first time and just kind of thinking that like this was one of like the best seasons of South Park that they've come out in so long. The story was amazing. Like you play as the new kid in town, and you and your friends, like the kids, are all playing like Dungeons and Dragons. So you make a class of what you want to be in the game, and I mean just like the references. So if you were a casual South Park fan, I think that the game you would think it's good. You know, like the game looks exactly like the show. Like it looks like you're watching an episode to the T. It has like the same shitty animation, the same cardboard,
Yeah.
shitty movements. All the voice casts are there. You would think you're watching it, but the references that they put in is just so top notch. Like you can tell that they were passionate about that game, and that's why I feel like a lot of those licensed like show games, they kind of just like seem like they're doing it for a quick buck. You know, like, oh, if I slap Simpsons or if I slap Family Guy or Futurama on this game, people are gonna buy it because they like the series.
Yeah.
You know, I don't who cares what the gameplay is like. You know, the earlier South Park games that you were saying on like PlayStation and PlayStation 2 were like that. I remember that shitty ass game when you're like going after turkeys. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, no, you and I
Awful.
played it. And it was
Awful.
garbage. It was straight garbage.
Yeah, we rented it from Blockbuster. Rest
Yeah.
in peace. But this one was it was just such a passionate project. Like you can go into any of the houses in the town, and you would go in, let's say you go into Cartman's room, and you open his closet, and you just see so many references from so many episodes. Like you see the Osmo costume in his closet, you know, like you see like the Seaman, like
Oh my god, that episode too.
see all of these things, and it's just like, wow, like if you're a big South Park fan like you and I, you really appreciate all of it. It makes you remember episodes, and immediately after I beat it, I played it a second time, and then I just binge watched South Park again afterwards because it just made you crave it. And on top of that, the gameplay was good. Like it's like a real like a turn-based combat game, kind of like old school Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. I like that kind of shit. But the second game is Fractured Butthole. So I love the name. It's like you're fractured but you're whole, but then they put it together as Fractured Butthole. And the whole reason why is because again you play as the kid, the new kid. You're technically the same new kid from the last game, and at the spoiler alert, the end of the game you become like king, and like all the kids like say like you're the best at this game. But then when you play superheroes, because everyone in this one's playing superheroes now, they're like, oh yeah, you can't play superheroes. You're like shit superheroes, so they automatically make you like a garbage superhero. So because like I don't know if you know, like in games like in the first one, at the end of the game, you're always so powerful, but then in the second game, you just like randomly lose all your powers and like you're just like level 1 again. But in this one, they gave you a reason because they're now playing superheroes instead of Dungeons and Dragons. So this one is great because you're split between two sides. You can either be on the side with the king,
King and friends, yeah.
the side with Mysterio, or Mysterio, sorry, and it's just again the banter in that game, and the combat's a little bit different, and yeah, like I feel like those two games they could have made it into a season on their own, but they chose to make it into an actual really good video game, and I gotta get props to them for that. It's a great experience.
Well, the Fractured Butthole that was based off of the trilogy of the Black Friday, was it not, or had something to do with it?
No, so the Black Friday one was kind of based off the Stick of Truth, because in Black Friday they're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, right, okay.
This
Because
is
got the wizard costume on, yeah.
Yeah, this was based on the superhero trilogy with the best character ever. Well, one of the best characters, Mint-Berry Crunch.
Mint-Berry Crunch.
Yeah, our savior. But it's based on that because you have Kenny as Mysterio. Is it Mysterio or Mysterion? Mysterion.
Mysterion.
Yeah, Mysterion. And then you have Cartman as the coon. You got Stan as a tool shed. Kyle is the human kite.
Yeah. You have Tupperware. That's
Token.
Yeah.
He's actually the best, like one of the best characters in the game. Like, I always had him on my party. Him and the coon were always on my party, and Butters is Professor Chaos, of course.
Yeah. Do they lock him away and make him eat poop in that bucket, or is that just in the episode?
That's just the episode. It's actually cool too because I think Butters is in both games, if I'm mistaken, he's the first character you get as like a party member. Yeah, he's always great.
Yeah, no, it's good to have Butters. Whose side would you choose, Coon or Mysterion?
Man, I gotta go with Coon, man. Like it's the Coon, you know?
I'm the king.
Yeah, Mysterion's cool. He's like immortal, all that stuff. He can't die, but the Coon, man. How about
Yeah.
you?
Oh, I'd be Team Coon all the way. Like, hands down. Like, I like Mysterion. I just think Cartman, the way he delivers that whole like superhero persona, it's hilarious, man. He's a selfish twat in that too. Like that whole trilogy, he sees that his plans are failing, so he goes out and that giant monster
Yeah,
Cthulhu and.
Cthulhu.
And he's calling them the bad guys. It's clearly you're the bad guy. You're with a guy who's killing everyone.
Yeah, someone who could literally destroy the planet.
Yeah, just classic Cartman. Well, since we're talking about trilogies, let's go with the South Park debate. What trilogy do you like the most and why? Imagination Land or Black Friday?
I gotta go with Imagination Land, man. Like Imagination Land it was just because I think that was the first trilogy they ever did. And that was before the show kind of did like the whole continuous storyline. And just how they did it was just so amazing. Like Man Bear Pig was actually real now. And the Man Bear Pig Al Gore episode was one of like the most classic episodes prior to that.
Yeah, I hate Al Gore, man. He's super annoying.
But that's the point.
Okay, you're serial, okay?
Yeah, I'm super serial. Yeah, so I'd say Imagination Land, and also Imagination Land has one of my favorite parts when when the U.S. military, because Imagination Land gets taken over by Al Qaeda.
Oh God, yeah, this is ridiculous.
and they start getting movie producers and directors to help them, and they bring Michael. They bring Michael Bay, and he's like, "We're gonna have a motorcycle on fire. It's gonna be like, whoa!" It's like just making all these noises, and it's literally spot on with how Michael Bay is. If you watch any Michael Bay movie, there's just an explosion every 2 minutes. So I think that scene alone, plus like they made Butters like the hero,
Yeah,
and I think that was really needed because. Instead of having the boys save everyone, it was actually Butters, and Butters didn't really get that kind of spotlight before. So
yeah.
I'd have to go with Imagination Land. It was just, and the Imagination Land song that they sing when they go to Imagination Land.
Well, I love like what Butters is before they get onto the device that takes him into Imagination Land. He's like, "Are you gonna rape us?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Watch it, guys. I'm pretty sure he's gonna rape us."
Yeah.
You know what's funny about you mentioning Michael Bay? He had M. Night Shyamalan on there.
Yeah.
And he was on point with M. Night Shyamalan too. Like, where he's always just trying to change and make twists. Always these twists.
Yeah.
And then Michael Bay too. Like, it's gonna go. Yeah, like he nailed it. And then. The best. He saved the best for last with Mel Gibson. My nipples.
Yeah, Mel Gibson. Oh, they did Mel Gibson so dirty in that show. I like the M. Night Shyamalan part where it's like, he's like, maybe it's not terrorists. He's like, no, it's terrorists. They've been linked to Al Qaeda. He's like, well, what if Al Qaeda is actually being terrorized from aliens?
Well, I love what the guy says to Michael Bay. Because Michael Bay says, "Well, I don't know the difference. I wouldn't expect you to." Next.
Yeah, next. So funny.
Yeah, that's an awesome trilogy. And you know what's funny? I watched that one, and my answer would have been Imagination Land, but then I watched the Black Friday trilogy, and I'm gonna go with that one because it's just ridiculous. It's a spin-off. It's a spoof from Game of Thrones. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, I suggest you watch it. But that whole dynamic of Game of Thrones, it's so funny. You know, Kenny becomes a princess. Cartman's a wizard. They're all like different characters from fictional like books. just like Game of Thrones, and they put it all together, and it's Microsoft versus Sony, the console battle with Xbox One and PS4. Bill Gates versus, I don't even know what that Asian guy's name is, but it's so funny. The dynamic of it was great. And just all the treachery. And my favorite scene, actually collective scenes, is Carmen in the garden, trying to coming up with the betrayal plans all the time. And the old man's calling us like, get out of my fucking garden. And it just spoils it. Like, he's going to betray you. He's said this to 4 different people. It's like, why? Just tell everyone. Like, oh, I couldn't stop laughing. I think like that whole segment is hilarious, hands down.
That's genius. Yeah. No, every time like you'd see the garden scene, you just know what was happening. Like after the third time, you just knew that was an ongoing joke, and it just got funnier every single time. I think my favorite scene in the Black Friday trilogy is that really fat lady, and she's like, she's like running people over. Oh man, she kills me.
What did she say? She's like, you're gonna have to suck my vagina. Is what she said.
And then like that one like family is like, yeah, we ate our baby for 50-inch TV or something.
That or the other families, like we were here last year and our youngest got trampled on, so we come here in her memory, and we're hoping to trample on another kid's head.
There's also that one scene at the end. I think it's the end of part 2, and like they have that old guy who's like acting like a zombie as if he's like a White Walker, and he's like like that. I don't know if you remember that at the end of like part 2.
They were spot on with the whole Game of Thrones dynamic. I loved it. I have to go with Black Friday.
With Game of Thrones and just Black Friday in the States and how much of a shit show it is, yeah, they were spot on.
I mean, they're always spot on when they make fun of everyone, but I feel like they nailed that one.
Yeah, no, that was a classic.
Okay, well, we can't have a podcast, a South Park podcast, without mentioning the 4 main characters. So, out of the 4, who do you identify with the most?
That was a really tough one. To be honest, I think the one I mainly identify with is Stan. Like, I always find that I'm always in the middle. When people are doing dumbass shit, I tell them straight up. I try to see like good in people as well at the same time, but then sometimes like, oh, I didn't find out so much of dumbass, and I'll just be like, oh, fuck them, And it kind of gets into situations where I end up doing something dumb as well. I would say, you wish, but you don't wish you could say someone is Cartman, so you have more to say. But I don't think anybody can be Cartman.
No, you have to be 1/6 son of a bitch, man, to be Cartman.
Oh yeah, you gotta be in jail by now if you're Cartman. So yeah, I'd say Stan. He's very plain, but I feel like he's got a lot of depth into him. And when you see those colors of him, that's when I feel like I'm more related to him.
Yeah, it's crazy. I picked Stan too. I was leaning towards Kenny, but I'm not as big of a perv as Kenny.
Me too. I was thinking about Kenny as well, but I thought, nah, like I can't be Kenny.
Yeah, like I wouldn't sniff cat piss, just to go into that like cartoon world and touch the girl's boobs and fight in a sandbox with Gerald Broflovsky. Like I wouldn't do something like that. No. So I like for those reasons, or I'm not Kenny. I'm definitely not Cartman. I'm not evil enough to be Cartman. Kyle's the guy, very smart.
Yeah.
But there's always like he gets chirped on by Cartman, and I don't get chirped on by people like in our dynamic group. Whereas Stan, like you said, Stan is the peacekeeper. He's like the glue that keeps everything together. He's kind of the leader, like the quiet leader.
Yeah.
But he goes with the flow. Like so, for those reasons, like I'm more Stan too. And it's crazy because Stan deals with a lot of shit, having a fucked up dad like Randy Marsh, dealing with his cock magic or, baseball fights.
Or dealing with Shelly.
Shelly bullying and beating him up all the time. just all the stuff he deals with, he's still calm, cool, and collected. So yeah, I feel like I'm more of a stan as well.
Yeah, he's always called Billy by his grandpa.
Billy, not Billy, Grandpa.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I'm actually very surprised that we both picked
I'm
Stan.
shocked. Like I said, I was leaning Kenny. But Kenny does Kenny will do the extreme stuff, and he dies all the time too.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not there. Like I'm not that person. I have a couple friends like that would be Kenny. But yeah, these two extreme for me.
The part that I was thinking about Kenny is like, it's like you say, like you and me kind of have like, we're not the one who's chirped on in the group, or like the one that everybody likes, you know. And Kenny's that kind of person. Like everybody likes Kenny. You'll never see. It's always like Cartman against everybody, you know, or you never see Kenny. Everyone pissed at Kenny. Like I don't think I can think of an episode where people are pissed at Kenny.
No, people love Kenny.
Everyone loves Kenny.
He was a princess.
And yeah, he's a princess. And I don't know if you saw the vaccine episode, but
I haven't seen any of those episodes. Are those still considered season 23?
No, they're like standalones. They're not even on Crave. Yeah, you have to stream them, but I won't spoil it then. But another reason why I would say that I also relate to Kenny is like you'll see it at the end of the episode. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Kenny because I love, you know what the episode I love with Kenny is where he gets the PSP.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say.
Yeah.
Here's your statue of Keanu Reeves.
He's the new Keanu. I love his message, though, when he says, if I'm ever in a vegetative state.
Please don't broadcast this on TV. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and Kenny's hilarious. Like I said, Kenny's like that extremist, but he's also like a sweetheart. So.
Yeah.
But let's go into another question. Name a character you would like to bring back and why. Yeah, I can't hear you. You wanna crank it up? Sorry, folks. Just a little technical difficulties. I'll go first. So a character that I would like to bring back is none other than Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein, if you want to talk about characters, this man is the most flamboyant character that was introduced. He's in the movie. He is introduced in a Terrence and Phillip episode. He's trying to take over Canada. You know, his demeanor's hilarious. He's want the best voice on the show. And the best part is he owns a chocolate chip factory in heaven. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Why wouldn't you want to see what happens with that too? I think Saddam is by far, like, I'd love for him to come back at least one more time. Like, he's just had so many ups and downs. You know, his relationship with Satan is just weird. You know, I have to go with Saddam Hussein. Definitely Saddam Hussein.
How about now?
There she is.
Yeah, sorry guys, my headphones start to shit the bed. You can hear me now?
Oh yeah, perfect. Crystal
Perfect.
clear.
So I would say the person I would like to bring back is none other than Chef. I mean, Chef was just such a classic character. I mean, we know that he'll never come back because, you know, the whole Scientology thing. I think, isn't Isaac Hayes dead as well?
And Isaac Hayes is dead. I mean, yeah, that would be the other reason. Rest in peace.
That probably, yeah, rest in peace. That would definitely probably be the biggest reason, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Chef was just so great. Like they used him so perfectly. Like once in a while he'd be in an episode a lot, but he would always just be there to give advice to the kids and then just end up talking about sex or singing some song that had nothing to do with their issue. And also, you know, the whole Chef salty chocolate balls line in an episode was just so perfect. But, you know, I think that he went out. I think he went out with a bang, though.
I don't know, man. That episode was fucked. Like that
Okay,
episode.
no, you're right. That episode was fucked. But when he died, he fell and got impaled by the rock, and the lion and a bear were fighting, and they ripped him apart. And then Carmen's like, maybe he's not dead. And then he shits, and then you know he's dead. So, I mean, I would love to bring him back because he was a great character, but I would never want that whole scene to be undone because it was just gold, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. Fun fact, Chef, he performed that Salty Chocolate Ball song at a pre-WrestleMania event.
No.
Oh, Isaac Hayes, yeah. It was fucking hilarious. Like, he just went all out, performed it, people went wild, suck on his salty chocolate balls. You got the best balls, Chef.
Mr.
Damn right.
That's another character. If I was going to say another character, Mr. Hanky. I'm surprised they don't use him anymore.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
He had the best son, Cornwallis.
I loved they did the song that was it, the Circle of Life, I guess.
Circle of Life and the Poo-Choo Train.
Yeah, we used the Poo-Choo Train in the Christmas episode. It was fucking hilarious. Like, I just love and it's all aboard the Poo-Choo Train, and like, I'm not getting on that. Yeah, me
they're all like covering their nose.
Did you get on a Poo-Choo Train?
Like, nah, dude. You're literally sitting on shit.
It's fucking dirty, but like,
Sewer.
All the sewer, there's rats and more feces, and
Plus,
I don't care.
Plus, people from South Park shit would be 10 times more toxic than anyone else.
Well, it was toxic to him when they were eating quinoa and couscous, and they had the film festival there, and gay cowboys were eating pudding, and but I almost picked Chef, but just Saddam Hussein's demeanor, like, hands down. I don't need to relax, guy. Like,
relax, guy.
Hey, relax, guys. Trust me.
The reason why the South Park movie was so good was because of Saddam. Like,
100%. I don't think that movie would have been as successful. Like, the songs were hilarious, and the whole, like, Blame Canada shit was fucking on point.
They actually won an Oscar. I think they got nominated. No, they got nominated for an Oscar for Blame Canada, and they lost to Phil Collins, and that's why in the Phil Collins episode, he's always carrying his Oscar.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fucking that episode's gold too, where they have Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
And Timmy has his own band, Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld.
Yeah, they're all on Ritalin.
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera, Bug or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so many great episodes. Like, this show, you actually know what's crazy? I stopped watching for a while. And I don't know if you remember this, but remember when I was out in BC, I called you because I just saw the last scene of the Wilsiak episode where Wilsiak's on the moon. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And you started laughing. Like, it was 5 minutes of laughter. And I'm like, why is there a whale on the moon? And you told me, like, no, you gotta watch it.
I had to explain the whole episode to you. That was so funny. And what's even funnier about that? Remember in a couple seasons later, they sent Kanye to the moon, and he's right beside Wilsiak.
Yeah, no, that whole episode was funny too. Just trying to get a whale to space, like.
Man, just like the shit that Matt and Trey come up with, like, it's not just South Park. Like, they're just genius. Like, Basketball is hilarious. Book of Mormon. I haven't seen Book of Mormon. I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Like, I saw it, but I saw it with someone who I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
So when the world is somewhat safe again, we'll get tickets. We'll go. It's something you have to see. we were sitting there, and there were kids in the audience, and we're laughing, and there's like the grandmother, grandfather, and like these kids, and we're looking at each other like, I hope they know what they're getting themselves into, because this is not kid friendly.
No.
But fantastic.
I saw clips of it. It's just like the most like you know it's from them. You know, like no one else would come up with that.
No.
And then another shout out I have to give Matt and Trey for is, you know what I'm gonna say, Team America.
America.
Me too. Just those guys, they just come up with the most craziest ideas, you know, like nobody else. And you know what I respect so much about South Park is that the show is just so relevant always with their pop culture references, and it's because they do the show in a week. They write the script, they animate it in a week, so then if anything happens in the world, it's already in the episode. It's no one else does it. Every other show is always like a year behind or like 6 months behind or something, you know. And
yeah, they do their due diligence. You got to tip your hat to them. They're always on point, always relevant. Like that whole what season when they started, like every episode was connected. With PC Principal, like starting with like PC Principal, everything's been connected, and then they went away with it a little bit, but they're always relevant with the news, and it's funny, and they just make it funny. They make it work. I don't know if those guys ever sleep, what type of drugs they're on, whatever it is. Let me know so I can be that fucking funny.
Yeah, I need some creativity in my life too. Shit,
hands down, man. Oh, let's move on. So, I mean, the whole series is controversial, but if there was a controversial episode that stands out to you, what do you think it would be? Now, my buddy Ba, who, like I said, if I wasn't doing this with you, I'd be doing this pod with him. He actually wanted to chime in on this question, and he has a very good answer. So, folks, listen.
Hey boys, I am fired up for this South Park episode. A question I have for you guys. What is a controversial episode that stands out? For me, it's Strong Woman. Strong Woman! I mean, absolutely hilarious and pretty topical for what's going on now. And remember, luck is for dudes.
He picked a really good one.
That was great, man. Like I thought he was gonna choose the one that I was gonna pick because I think mine's a little obvious, but that was amazing.
Yeah, he picked a really good one, and I watched that episode not too long ago too. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Wow. So if I was gonna pick the most controversial episode, it's gotta be the Scientology one. I mean, that episode just did not give a shit. And, you know, they did the whole Tom Cruise in the closet, which was hilarious because I actually saw an interview with Matt and Trey, and they just wanted to straight up say that Tom Cruise was gay, but then their producers like, you can't just go say he's gay. So then they like, how can we come up with a way that we're saying he's gay without saying he's gay? So then they came up with the whole trapped in the closet thing. He's not going to leave the closet. So that was just pure genius. And then the whole, you know, Scientology, they're calling it like, they're chirping it. And, you know, it was so controversial and so, you know, balls deep that it ended up making Isaac Hayes leave the show. And he's been there since the beginning, you know, like he was one of like the mainstays of the, he was like almost as relevant as Randy is now. You know what I mean? Like he was one of those side characters that you see all the time. He's always featured. And it made him leave, you know, like how the whole show is controversial, but when you come up with an episode that's going to make even one of your characters dip the show afterwards, that's how you know, like, you just broke a whole new boundary, you know?
Well, yeah, they always push the envelope or, you know, cross that line. But yeah, I was shocked when Isaac Hayes was offended to the point where he left. This guy was talking about putting balls in people's mouths and, you know, women as objects and, you know, all the sexual inquiries and answers he had for the kids in Scientology. He's like, nah, fuck it. It's too much for me. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that one, but for me, I picked the HIV episode. So Cartman contracts HIV during a routine procedure to get his tonsils removed. And I feel like Matt Stone and Trey Parker really reached in this episode to like still make HIV awareness, but diminish it and belittle it at the same time. It's a great episode. Like, come on. I'm not just positive. I'm HIV. I'm not just sure I'm HIV. I know. I'm not just positive. I'm HIV positive. Imagine saying that to someone. Like, it's HIV. AIDS is no laughing matter, but they just turned it into this big like poop shoot of an episode, and HIV, calling it retro, and it was like 10 years ago. I'd rather have cancer.
Like, that's terrible.
Yeah, like I feel like that. Like, don't get me wrong, the episode was like fucking hilarious because they just dismantled Jimmy Buffett, and Jimmy Buffett, if you don't know, is more for like drunken frat boys, and there's a reason nobody likes him, right, Cartman?
Fuck you, Jimmy Buffett! You fucking nut! Just be nice.
Yeah. So, I think that episode stood out to me as probably like one of the most controversial, but it worked on so many levels.
I think one of like the funniest lines in that episode too is when they go to Africa with the cure, and they're like, "Hey everyone, we have the cure for HIV. All you need is $140,000. You grind it up and inject it yourself. Okay, thanks, bye." They're going to a piss-poor area in Africa as if they have that money.
And they all just look at each other like, yeah, because we can come up with that kind of money. Yeah.
But it's so funny because that just relates to the whole Magic Johnson thing. Like, how the hell is he not? How is he negative? All about money. But they just made him. But they literally said, if you grind up money and inject it in yourself, you'll cure it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what's keeping him alive. The fact that he has undisposable amounts of money, where his HIV hasn't changed to AIDS, so he's living strong. He's been I don't see him going anytime soon. Like, I haven't heard anything affecting him with the illness. So, but just the fact that South Park brought that episode to life, so funny, but very controversial.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was a good pick. That's a really good pick.
All right, brother. You know what? This has been wild, man. I just want to thank you for taking this, trip down memory lane. Maybe we do this again. No, I don't like you enough to do this again.
I was expecting that. We hardly ever like each other, but once in a while, if we feel like building a truce, we can definitely do another episode.
Absolutely. Is there anything you want to tell the viewers, the listeners, anything you're working on, or what you're up to, or I don't know, I guess a little bit about yourself? I don't know, whatever.
Just not really. Like, you can follow me on social media, King Calf, 3 F's at the end, and if you want to give me a follow and see how my life is much better than Melky's, then feel free.
Boom.
But yeah, no, just everyone, I want to thank you for having me, and keep listening to Wow I Had Mustard. It's a great podcast, and this is just the beginning. It's gonna, there's gonna be more outrageous stuff, more laughs. I'm hoping less cries, but I think it's gonna be big. I know that we're all kind of in this shit right now with this pandemic, but it doesn't hurt to have something to look forward to and laugh at, So.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, for you listeners of yours that don't know, your girlfriend is the one that runs our IG page, and I just want to give a shout out to Rosie, for helping us out with that and making us a little more relevant. She's helped me personally and helped the group personally as well, with posting and setting up and giving us ideas and ways to improve. So shout out to Rosie. You got a good one there.
Thank you. Yeah. And, all the listeners, if you want to give Rosie Smith a follow, I definitely recommend it. She's going to be on the red carpet in a couple of years. So if you get that follow and follow back now, you'll have something to think about in a couple of years.
And I also want to thank, NA30, Anthony, the Mustard Boys, you sick son of a bitches. Look out, we got another recording coming up soon, like my brother alluded to. Just thank everyone, for all this. They can ask for something better. So The most important thing is you're adopted, and mom doesn't like you. Okay. All right, and I'm not your buddy.
I'm not your friend, guy.
And I'm not your guy, buddy. Well, this has been another episode of Nobody Gives a Fuck, brought to you by Wow I Had Mustard. I'm Melky. This is Ammar. We're signing out, and actually, we're going to play something y'all been waiting for. Terrence and Phillip farting.